in the spirit of what today is all about, we have seen so much division, we've seen so much hate, we have seen so much darkness, and today is about the light, it is about the hope, and it is about overcoming evil. And the way to do that is with unity. And today we have both the Premier and the opposition leader together on stage. Is all about that. It is all about working together in any way we possibly can to overcome evil. And on that note, could you please join with me in welcoming Premier Jacinta Ardern.
Thank you very much, David. And kind to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we're gathered on, the Wurundjeri people, and pay my respects to elders past and present, and extend that same respect to elders who may be with us here today. And I do thank you, David, for the opportunity to bring us together in the spirit of unity, light and hope. Can I thank you, Bill, for your contribution that you have just shared with us, and also thank you for your contribution to public service in this country over so many years. To the Leader of the Opposition, and also in that great show of unity today, John Rizzuto, it's important that we do share this stage in that sign of strong unity. To my parliamentary colleagues, Paul Hamer and Ryan Batchelor, to Councillor Libby Buckingham, who are also here together showing that important leadership, and also to Rabbi Herzog and Rabbi Rabin, thank you also for being with us here today. Because as we do know, Hanukkah is such a time of celebration. And right now, it should be, this month, a time of celebration for all Jews, for all Victorians. And today we should be gathering today in joy, but while this is still a festival of light, and this is still very much a room filled with love, this is also a community full of pain. And last night, with many of you who were here today as well, I had the pleasure of speaking at Mount Scopus' 75th birthday. And last night we heard from an uplifting school choir, full of optimism, full of energy. It were these smiling young boys and girls that were the target body of those two despicable words sprayed on the front gate of the school. Not politicians, not diplomats, children. Last night I also told the story of my own visit to Addis Israel Synagogue last Friday, in those hours after that evil terrorist attack. I didn't get to see inside the building because of the police tape that surrounded the synagogue, but I didn't need to. I saw so much more just when the rabbi came to meet me, and I saw what had happened in the palms of his hands. There is a reason we call anti-Semitism the world's oldest form of hate. Whether it was that evil king that badged Judaism in the land of Israel thousands of years ago, or a synagogue destroyed by terrorism on the other side of the world in the year 2024. It is the same evil century after century after century, and Jews, century after century after century, have shown the same courage. That same Ometz Lev. That courage is why Jews live, and it's why extremists fail. And on Hanukkah, we celebrate a miracle. We marvel at the oil that burned for 8 days against all odds. What is today's miracle? The hope of peace, here and abroad. The hope that hostages will be, the hostages that David spoke of earlier, those hostages will return to their families, perhaps in time to see the lighting of the menorah. I hope that Melbourne will be the safest place in the world for a Jewish kid to grow up, go to school, go to shul, perhaps study at the local Chabad, start a family and then live their lives true to themselves. I believe in that future. I believe it is a fundamental right. And I know it will require more than words. I know it will require action. You may have heard already about the bill that sits before this Parliament to make it easier for police to charge people who whip up hate and fear against their fellow Victorians just because of who they pray to, what they wear or who they are. And you may have also seen coverage of the additional actions which I'm considering to meet this horrific moment. And in doing so, I'm always guided by my values, and I hope you know too my admiration for the values of Chabad. A love for one another, a passion for study, a belief in God, a life of peace. What better principles could we have to guide us through this valley What better answer than the universal Jewish values of justice, dignity and respect for all? There's a great synergy this year in Hanukkah, starting on the very same day, December 25, as the day I celebrate the birth of a Jew in Bethlehem. It's a little signal that says Jewish values, Christian values, multicultural values, they are all Victorian values. We are all the same, we are all equal, and an attack on one is an attack on all of us. We will leave no stone unturned in the elements of our society who cultivate it. My goal is for a Victoria free of fear, discrimination and vilification. And I hope we may come together again at a future Hanukkah to say a miracle happened here in Israel, in the Middle East, in Australia, Victoria and Melbourne. And let us pray that the light of the menorah eclipses that shadow. And thank you for inviting me to join in this very important celebration. And I wish all of you have a very happy, and most importantly, a very safe Hanukkah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amanda, for those warm words, and we certainly look forward to working with you to ensure whatever action is necessary to keep our community safe, and we'll do whatever, and obviously this is an important place for all of that to happen. Thank you once again. I also recognise Councillor Libby Buckingham, who is the area which does his house, and I know she's been there and sent her best wishes and support, and is doing a lot with the City of Port Phillip as well, and to Sam Parasol. Councillor Sam Parasol is also here today. It is now my great pleasure to introduce, I suppose my boss, really, John Pursuto.